Into it. It's crime o'clock, yeah, feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. Clock, clock, yeah. Typically new, neon signs glow, brick wall behind me. Headlines loud, but they never define me. Rush the story, skip the proof. I slow it down, let it show the truth. Files on deck, read every line. Timestamps matter, so does time. If it don't fit, I don't force the frame. Ask one question, whole story change. No fear my voice, no need to shout. Paper speaks when you read it out. If the math's off, I'll circle twice. Truth ain't loud, but it ain't nice. Yeah. Read it again. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah. It's crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Read it again. They sell a narrative if I sell receipts. Courtroom quiet, but the pages speak. Word for word, no added spin. Let it stand, yeah. Let that sink in. Screenshot save, timeline's tight. Missing pieces keep me up at night. If they say alleged, I say why. If they say case closed, I say try. No rush here, we do it right. Truth don't bend for the likes of hype. If you came for noise, you in the wrong spot. This is evidence, this is crime o'clock. Clock, clock, clock. Stay with me. This isn't background noise. This is pattern recognition. This is documents. This is crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Say it with me now. Crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Typically unique. It's crime o'clock. Yeah. If you're here, you're early. If you're listening, you're paying attention. Show starts now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. Happy Thursday? Is it Thursday? I believe it's Thursday. It's Crime O'Clock. Clock on in. Clock on in. Hello, Mountain Mama. Good to see you. Jen 7S. Hello, hello. Hey, Jenna. Song of the Siren. Hello, hello. J-Bean. Blue-eyed butterfly. Hello, hello. Juror 13. Uh-oh. Why do we got to throw food out of our fridge? Oh, the heat for the animals. ABCs of True Crime. Hello to you. Making sure I didn't miss anybody so far. So far. Witchy was. Hey, hey. So some of you must be in a heat wave. Not here. It's like 70s. Okay, Witchy. Good luck. Good luck. Hey, Becca. All right. Let's see. So I made a decision yesterday, and I knew I was waiting for the moment with my Lollapalooza tickets to we're just going to talk personal stuff for a little bit while everybody jumps in. I like to share things with you, if you don't mind. Talk a little personal stuff. I was on the wait list for Lollapalooza tickets. My daughter and I went last year. it was our first time going into the festival. I had been around the festival for quite a few years. My husband always had to take a business trip to Chicago during the time that Lollapalooza was going on. And this year we wanted to go, and I did not get tickets. I've been on the wait list, and I've been waiting and waiting. And it just got to the point where I was like, oh my God, it's a week away. I'm freaking out. So I bought tickets yesterday. Not on the wait, not from the wait list. So I had to pay a little bit more, but now I'm so excited because I know I'm going for sure. Yeah, my car, it didn't need like fix. There wasn't anything wrong with it. Just, maintenance stuff. So yeah. Yep, it was easy peasy, and they did it fast. So that was amazing. So if you guys don't mind, I thought I would just show you some fun. Okay, when we go to Lollapalooza, I don't think I tried to like use the Wi-Fi and like stream or anything while I was there last year. And everybody says the service there is like non-existent. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to like stream from inside, which is a total bummer because that's what I wanted to do. But I'm still going to record. So while I'm in there, I'm going to record, and then like I can leave and like try to upload it or whatever. Or I'll just go live from like when I'm walking downtown Chicago and like talk to you guys, because I don't want to, I want to still like do my shows when I can. Thank you. You know what? I go through phases with my hair. I'm older. I have to dye it all the time. And I don't know what I have done. Like the past couple nights, I like look at Carlos and I'm like, my hair feels so soft. Which most of the time it feels like straw. So I'm like, I've had a couple like good hair days. I'm like, thank you, hair goddess. Yeah. Juror 13, you went to 3 of them. It's a Peeps-a-Palooza in here. We're going to have Peeps-a-Palooza next week. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, all right, let me we'll just do some like pop culture news for a minute. Okay. So those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Lollapalooza is a music festival that they have in Chicago at Grant Park. So have you guys heard of the Chicago Bean? Right? Let me know in the chat. Have you been to the Bean in Chicago? You think, oh, it's just like this like bean shaped structure. No, it is amazing. I'll take footage of that too when I'm out there. But this is the actual park. Like it's huge. The park is huge. And they just transform the park into the festival. And this is what it looks like. Let me make sure this is showing up for you guys. Did I add it to the stage? I did. Okay. This is people you are seeing. That is so. The festival ends at 10 o'clock at night. So it's not like it goes like extremely super late. And at the end of the night, when the headliner plays, that's when it gets that packed. And it looks like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to be in that crowd. I'm going to show you what it looked like last year for Olivia Rodrigo. She set the crowd record, and I was smack dab in the middle of it with my daughter, and it was not bad at all. So the picture's kind of deceiving. I mean, that's how many people are there, but it's not really like wall to wall. And I thought this was a cool shot. So they have a fountain, like a huge fountain in the middle, and it's very family friendly. They set up a whole kids area. So you see families coming in with their kids, and they just have activities for them to do. And it's just a whole, we only went one day last year. I couldn't move the next day. I don't know what's going to happen to me this year. we're going to try to go 4 days. I couldn't move after 1 day last year. I'm going to need to like bring ice packs for my feet and like things for my back. I don't know. Chicago. I love Chicago. So I get a little crazy. We'll start with this one. When I go, and hey, no shame here. I embarrass myself freely on this show. This is me and my daughter. So I don't know if you guys know that song, When You're Back in Chicago. When you're back in Chicago, I feel it. You know, however the words go. I saw my name somewhere. You're thinking about going to Chicago in September. I want to go to Adler Planetarium, take in a Cubs game, go to the Aquarium Museum. Oh, do all the tourist things. Like Grant Park, you got to go there because they have the Bean. They have an outdoor like orchestra stage where they do outdoor concerts and stuff. There's always stuff going on down there. I mean, there's so much to do there. Yeah, highly endorse it. Just reading your comments for a minute. Yeah, that song. Okay, so this is me and my daughter. Like so the song is about Chicago, right? And then being there, whoops. And all right, that was me and my daughter hanging out.
No, we had to separate.
I'm gonna pause that for a second. Just a couple more, you guys. You can get to know the crazy side of Kim. Embarrassing. I was out. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one, probably. Oh my God. One more. You guys will love this one. You ready? Let me talk to you. That was so fun to be there for that. That was so fun. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to share a little bit of fun with you guys. Now, Tomboy, thanks for recognizing Carlos. Oh, GB, that was so fun seeing T-Pain. I mean, he put on a good show. It was so fun. Everybody, you know, there weren't very many people there my age in the middle of the T-Pain crowd. And the younger people were looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is my music, baby. GB, where are you going tonight? You're going to a concert tonight. Yep. This year, my daughter, her girlfriend, and I and myself are going in. And I told them, I said, I won't tag along the whole time. You guys can go do your thing. But they're pretty cool. They don't mind having me around, thank goodness. Because I'm crazy, that's why. Oh my gosh. All right. So Tomboy noticed Carlos. And I want you guys to know that Carlos is going to be our special guest on the verdict room Saturday night. So yeah, Carlos and I have spent a long time debating this case. It's not Carlos. I'm the one that kind of took the hiatus of us discussing this together, because ever since when the crime scene photos came out and the documents started coming out, the police reports and everything, there was so much to take in. It's been hard to debate, and I don't know, but we have good discussions. And so he's going to come on and have a discussion. So where'd I put it? A little clip.
Ourselves from the case a little bit, and to be like, there needed to be a level of, we got so involved in it that I think we
Tomboy
lost the level of like empathy or,
Yeah.
Concern, the humanity portion of it. Like we both dug in so hard that was, that started leaving,
Well, it was kept from us. And I think when the mainstream media news shows started coming out, like the Dateline and the prime time, I think the prime time one was the one that really,
Yes.
when we finally got to see the kids, the college students that were
Yes.
close to the victims.
That's when it hit.
That,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
I agree.
That helped put that.
Back
We
into
keep saying
perspective.
humanity on it, but I'm still going to question things.
Yeah, and I'm still gonna think they got the right guy, but
we're like Sonny and Cher.
but it
I'm
did
a
it-
little bit a conspiracy.
but it
Not
did put a
Sonny and
little
Cher.
empathy. I'm gonna rebut that a little bit, if you don't mind, and say
That's what we're here for.
okay.
That's what we're here for. We debate, baby.
Okay. All right, that's good. I want to do it in the lovingest way possible. I love you. I'm gonna rebut that a little bit, if you don't mind, and say
That's what we're here for.
okay.
That's what we're here for. We debate, baby.
Okay. All right, that's good. I want to do it in the lovingest way possible.
Okay, so that's how Carlos and I talk to each other when we have a debate, and we're able to do it respectfully, hear each other. And thanks, G Bean. We poke fun at each other a little bit. Sometimes I get a little some comments in there from the community, but Tomboy. Is the chat going to be filled with hashtag Free Brian on Saturday? That would be funny. 10 gems, a floating heart from Lavs. Thank you, Lavs. Thank you.
Clock it. So I gotta say thank you. Clock it.
All right. Let's see. I saw in the Discord this morning, everybody was talking about the new documentary. And was it AMC you guys were talking about? Did that one come out already? I thought season 2 of the Prime documentary series was supposed to be coming out. Has that one been released yet? Everybody who watched if it's AMC, Tomboy, she's got your dress on that you made, your little spring dress. Yeah, and I gave her some blonde hair. She looks cool. She looks like hippie. She's dressed for Lollapalooza. So whatever, yeah, AMC. Everybody was mad. Everybody who has watched it said it's horrible. It's the same, what are we calling it? A hit piece. Same narrative, apparently. I'm still gonna watch it. And talk about it tomorrow. Yeah, Tomboy Charm is like the crafting queen, you guys. I have shared her store on this channel before. I need to keep that linked somewhere. She'll make anything. Ask her to make something and she'll make it. Like she sent me all these cute little bags. Like I use them to hold Ophelia's accessories. Yeah, very crafty. So if you have a porch goose, Tomboy can make you clothes for your porch goose. Yeah, so we'll talk about that documentary tomorrow, but what just like you're seeing the comments in the chat, people were not happy. Typical, right? Typical. Outcast dropped Tyler Yelk's interview yesterday, and let me tell you, I hope he didn't pay a lot of money for that interview. He said it was like a 45-minute interview and probably 35 minutes of it was redacted. Like, not kidding. Like, it was like the first 5 minutes straight silence. It was that interview is probably second worst to Josie's. Josie's was completely silent. This one, and it's really curious. A lot of the silence was at the beginning. What were you talking about, officers? Then it's really, this is what I observed listening to that interview. It was like a lot of silence at the beginning, and then they come back on and you hear a few things. G Bean, you thought you were just muted. Like, hey, yeah, what's like Outcast had to keep coming on and saying, it's still silenced. I'm still here. Yeah, it was ridiculous. And then they come back on and you'll hear like a couple words and then silence, and then a couple words and then silence. And usually you can figure out at least what the question was or what the context of the conversation is. No. And then this is what I noticed. They come on and they say, oh yeah, what's your birthday again? Like, come on. You're already like 15 minutes, a good 15 minutes into the interview that has been silence. And now you're coming in and saying, what was your birthday again? And to me, that felt like they knew that they were going to not want this stuff to be heard. And so he threw in like a stupid question that would like, well, we have to redact the birthday. Did any of you catch that? That was just my personal take on it. I could be wrong. That's just what I like noticed. And then, so after they asked the birthday, I think someone was commenting, like probably him, like, what are they doing? Like spelling out each number of the birth date. Like it took forever. Yeah, we listened to the Kaylee McConkey interview. Yes. She had some interesting stuff, but so Tyler Yelk, what I did get out of it was that he knows law enforcement. And I forget the name he said. Did he say Blaker? Was Blaker the cop that he named? And then tell me what Lana's bomb was, because I think I know what it is. I'm just forgetting. I think we picked it out of the McConkey interview. Or are you talking about something different? Tyler Yelk was the football coach. Barrett, thank you. Tyson Barrett, you guys. Tyler Yelk seems like he's pretty good friends with Tyson Barrett, the cop. That's interesting. I Googled Tyler Yelk. He has been all over the place. He's been in like South Dakota, I think Minnesota, Iowa, or Illinois. Like he moves around. Now, there's two reasons you move around. You move around because every time you move, you get more pay. I hope that's the case. You're taking a new job to get more money. I hope that's the case. Or you move around because they don't want you there anymore. So he moved around a lot. He knows Tyson Barrett, and they shared the babysitting list. I thought that was the bomb from the Tyler Yelk interview. The coach, and he kept talking about, I think was Ava Wood in her interview. She said she worked for the football team, correct? Like she worked for the football team. And she's also in a sorority. So she put together a list of sorority girls that would take turns babysitting. Thanks, G Bean. Thanks, G Bean. And they shared that list with Tyson Barrett. Do you think those are the only two people that shared that list? Like, if I'm a young parent and I want to go out, because he also talked about like when he goes out, and I think he was talking about the night of the crime, he didn't go to the corner club. He went to one of the hotels, like Best Western. Was it the Best Western? Because hotels have bars. They have like a lounge, right? And I understand that. Like, I'm a coach I don't want to go hang out with the college kids at the bar. I'm going to go to like a bar that like the kids aren't going to be at. That's right, G Bean. That list was passed around, Jack. That list was passed around. So who knows what other officers use them as babysitters. And when you're a babysitter, guess what you have access to? Their house. You're in their house. I'm just saying, you're in their house. Janet Wallace, hello. Hey, Margaret. Labs, hello to you if I didn't say hi. Sally Port, hello. Tomboy, I just start talking to you. I don't know if I said hello. I just start talking to you. Okay, so Tyler Yelp. Let me see. Did I forget something? Oh, the other thing was that he said Ethan knew somebody on the football staff, or vice versa. Somebody on the football staff knew Ethan. Was he just talking about Ava? I don't know. Is she considered staff? I don't know. My experience from college was the college will offer on-campus employment for anybody. Like if you want a job and you're a college student, you can have an on-campus job and the university will pay you. And there's like, I catered for the university. They had a banquet room, and I worked there. I worked in their food service. I also kept stats for their women's volleyball team. And all I had to do was show up to the game, sit at the stat bench, and keep track of like, a certain statistic. So Ava Wood, I'm wondering if that was like a university job that she was doing just to work doing something at with the football team. Those could be university paid jobs. Don't yell at me, Tomboy. It's what I had. You sound like my eyeglass. She's like, don't use anything to clean your glasses. Sorry. They're not scratched yet. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Oh my God. All right. One other thing before we get into our updates. I told you about the debacle with my FOIA request for ISP document 59 is who I believe is the supervising teacher that Kaylee got placed with. And I requested it. They told me I could pay a duplication fee. Then they sent me the wrong interview. They corrected it. They reimbursed me the duplication fee. So that's wonderful. And they just told me that they gave me a price. So they must have found the interview, and I'm going to pay that today. So the interview with Kaylee's supervising teacher, I think that she got placed with, hopefully we'll have that in a week or two. Yeah, I'm glad they reimbursed me too. I didn't even ask them to. I asked them to reopen my original request because they closed it. But yeah, I didn't ask them to reimburse me. They just did it. So that's great. Yep, so that should be coming. All right, quick updates. The David case has had 2 days of preliminary hearings. Day 1, it seems like they were just setting the stage of like the horrificness of the crime. Day 2, which was yesterday, I feel like they were setting the motive for him. All the reports that I heard said that it was about David Anthony Burke's financials. Okay. David Anthony Burke is charged with killing Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So they went all into how much money he had made and everything like that, because the theory is, or the motive that is being, I think, stated is that she threatened to out him about their underage relationship. And I also feel like he was possibly having that type of relationship with other girls, and she threatened to out him. And that would be the motive. So if that, the fear of him losing millions, if she outs him, they're saying that's a motive. That's a motive for the crime. Okay. So that's David Anthony Burke. And let's hit that like button, please. I'm going to do something right here, a little polly poll. Please take a moment and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, if you are new here. Make sure you have the notifications set. I always click on the notification button and make sure it's set to all, so that you always get notified. All right, so I have a question for a poll. Did you remember to hit the, whoops. There we go. Thanks for the reminder, Tomboy. All right, let me get that Discord link. Yeah, you guys, we are starting to do more and more over there. Lots of information in our Discord. I'll drop that link real quick for you. Come on over. Don't be afraid of Discord. It's just a giant chat room. And I will pin that if it'll let me. I don't know. I have to do it on the other side. Ebby Lush, 10 gems. Thank you so much. It was a gold coin that you sent. Thank you. Thank you. I love being able to play these. I'm not allowed to play This Is How We Do It anymore. Not allowed. Let's do this one.
Yeah, wait a minute. Get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step off.
Love that one. I love that one's safe. Yeah. Okay, Nolan Wells. Let me know in the chat, any of you following the Nolan Wells case. I think this is going to be an interesting case. I did a review of the case yesterday. He is the 18. He was almost going to be 19. It was right before his 19th birthday when he went out on a boat with a bunch of friends, college friends, high school friends he's grown up with since elementary school, in Mississippi, down by the water. I don't know the name of the town. I got to learn the name of the town. And they went to Horn Island. You're only allowed to play This Is How We Do It on Fridays. Why Fridays, Beth and Shermy? I'm not getting it. I'm not getting that joke. It's going over my head, Yeah. Okay, so Nolan Wells goes out on a boat. Okay, so come to find out, there's a channel, it's Officer something, and Lana, yes, Lana has been digging into this. There's a couple other channels. I mean, they're making visuals of the boats, the timelines and stuff like that. There's a lot of players in this case. So, anybody know the name of that officer? It was Officer T something. I'll find it and I'll post it in our community page. Oh my gosh, you guys, Discord is blinking. Blinking. I'm gonna close that for a minute so it doesn't. Oh, it's Friday night. Yeah. Oh, I got you. It's Friday night. And I got you. I didn't realize it was the rest of the song. Officer Tatum. Thank you, Bunny Murphy. Yes. So he did an interview with Nolan's friend, Warren. Didn't catch a last name. Warren is one of the key friends that Warren, Nolan, and let me see. Warren said he's been a best friend since elementary school all the way up through college. So they have gone to school together just about their whole lives, even through college. He said he was like a brother to him. Warren described like Nolan would always go to Warren's house or all their friends' houses. And sometimes that's just the way it is, right? He said they never really went to Nolan's house. He did know Nolan's father. Nolan's father would be around, but not the mom so much. And also, the mom and dad are separated, I believe. So that could have a factor in it too. So let's see. Warren, who's giving the interview, and he kept saying, my buddy, which was interesting because he wouldn't say the name. He would not say the name. And apparently there's like a highly popular family involved in this that I think it's probably the buddy's family. And Nolan, all three of them spent the night together Friday night. So they spent the night together Friday night, and then Saturday they were getting boats, plural, ready to go out with, he said, where did he say? 20 to 30 people. 20 to 30 people. So my understanding is that these 20 to 30 people met at the buddy's grandparents' house, I think. I think it's the grandparents' house that had the boat dock. They had at least one boat, probably multiple, room for multiple boats to take off from. And Warren, here's where some controversy comes in, and here's where some of the online sleuthing is coming into effect. According to Warren, they took 3 boats. I know nothing about boating. Nothing. I've been on a boat. I live on the lake, but I've never owned a boat and had to take care of a boat. So I don't even know if this, I've not personally dove into the details to see like what's adding up or what's not, but I don't think the 3 boats that he mentioned adds up to holding the number of people he said went out to Horn Island. So one of the boats he said had 4 people. Okay. You can do the math. One of the boats had 10 to 16 people. And one of the boats had 8 to 9 people. So possibly 4 and 9 is 13. 13 and 16. 29. I guess it adds up. So he named the type of boats. I don't know the boats. There's a Triton. There's a, what do you call the other one? A Palm Beach, 18-foot Palm Beach. I think that's the name of it. And then I couldn't tell if he was saying a Tybon or a Tylon. I don't know. I don't know boats. The online investigators think there were 5 boats. So when you get into the story that Warren is saying they had 3 boats tied up at the island, he said one of them left early. So that leaves 2 boats. So one of those 2 boats must be the one that had the taking on water or something. I don't know. You got to get into the weeds on it. But 3 boats, possibly 4 or 5 boats, all left Nolan on the island. I guess there could be some confusion if people are just like jumping on boats and they're like, hey, we're at the max. We can't hold another person. Get on the next one. There could be that. But I don't think that would cause his death. He could have spent the night on the island and been fine the next day. So something happened to him. And I just wanted to show you a photo. What we learned from the independent autopsy. If you didn't hear, the independent autopsy, where did I put it at? Oh, no, I put it in here. When they sent Nolan's body to the pathologist, and trigger warning, talking about body parts, his throat was not sent. They withheld a body part. That is so concerning to me. All right, I have a thing. Where's my Nolan folder? Where's my Nolan folder? There it is. Okay, this is crazy. Wait till you guys see this. I don't understand why there is, like, it can't be a simple explanation of who saw him last. That's what makes it so plausible that something criminal happened to him, because nobody's talking. Nobody will say who saw him last. No one can explain what happened to him. So if you look on the screen, that's a photo of Nolan with his 2 friends on the island that day. And then there's a sketch of the injury that the pathologist found on the back of his head, and it was 12 inches by 8 inches. Look at that. Yeah, the mysterious girl. So also when he was talking, the interview, it was also interesting. If you listen to that Warren interview, you can definitely tell it was clipped, like they took out some information. And part 1 was just about his relationship with Nolan. As I was listening to it, I'm like, I would love to have Travis T. Logic listen to him talk, because he seemed to avoid some questions, in my opinion. And all they talked about were the boats and going out to the island in part 1, and then it ended. Apparently the girl I can't tell. There's so much confusion about the girl. People are thinking it might be Warren's sister, and that her name might be Ava. Did you guys hear that name, Ava? Yeah. My plan is to dig into this case more and get the names right, get the people right, get the timeline down, do all that stuff. The redness was underneath his skin on his head. Yes. And they did say that the pathologist said that because his body was so, the decomposition from being in the water, the pathologist could not just look at his skin and easily see bruises. So they did have to look under. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about Leaha Larkin's, and we were reading Leaha Larkin's report. And we got up to the part, let me pull this out. This is the one. This is the one where she was starting to talk about the DNA work that they did in the Brian Kohberger case with IgG. She's talking about the IgG, genetic genealogy. And we're going to finish reading her report. And I made a mock family tree, according to what Leaha Larkin put in her report. 5 typically unique members. Welcome to the coop, you guys. Crystal Sapio, Inside Your Bones, Les Awake, Janice Minnick, and I'm a Realist. Welcome to the unique peeps. And thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. Love that one. Love that one. Oh, I did not upload my short ones yet, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Just so I don't
how we do it. This is how we do.
I wasn't trying to show it. I was trying to delete it. YouTube, please. I was trying to delete it. I'm cracking myself up over here. I'm sorry, you guys. I am sorry. Yeah, put some peeps in the chat. All right. I was trying not to play that song. All right. It's time for the inspector assessor. Get that off. So, after we look at this information, I have, it's not on. What are we doing? I have some interesting news reports. It's plugged in. Okay, hold on a second. I have some interesting news reports about a DNA expert. Do you guys know about Yvette Missy Woods? Yeah, Yvette Missy Woods was a forensic genealogist, DNA expert. I wasn't trying to be a rebel. I promise. I was deleting it. I am a rebel, though. She got busted big time in Colorado. So after we go through the Leaha Larkin stuff, we're going to look at, I have two DNA people and the FBI caught from 1994 up until 2025, 23, whenever that lady got busted. So we're going to look at those. Yep, we're going to look at those. She, the Yvette Missy Woods, ended up pleading guilty, and her sentencing is going to be in September, I believe. Do you guys think she's in jail until her sentencing, or do you think she's at home? Do you think she has an ankle monitor? I don't think she has an ankle monitor. Okay. So this is just an example, you guys. Do not take this as fact. This is not fact. This is an example of what Leaha Larkin said that they came up with. Let me get a thin marker. From the data. So we've got RK and HS. Let me make sure I'm on top messages. Make sure you guys aren't on top messages. Make sure you are on all messages. Okay, so in Leaha Larkin's report, she said, I gotta go backwards here. Okay. So we've got RK and HS. Okay. And they were sharing 70 centimorgans and 60 centimorgans. Okay. So they would be far removed on the family tree from the DNA. Okay. Then we know from this Leaha Larkin report that RK and HS are third cousins, and that they shared a set of second great grandparents. So instead of saying great great grandparents, you just say it's a second great grandparent. Okay. So I took that information. That's what I took. And I put it into an AI, and I said, fill in a tree for that. So down here is RK and HS. Okay. That's where AI had to land. This had to be the end result. And they are third cousins. So they're third cousins. How would that go up? Okay. And the other piece of information we knew was the second great grandparent, Clark Tyler, was the second great granddad, and Ellen Burke, they married each other. She was the second great grandmother. And so they had kids. And I believe the report said they had 8 kids. Let me find where it said that. I know it said it in here. If it did not say how many kids they had, so these are made up. So this whole second generation right here is just they had to have kids. So they had to have kids. So here's kid 1, kid 2, kid 3, kid 4, kid 5, kid 6, kid 7, kid 8. I thought I read they had 8 kids, but it doesn't matter. Just for an example. This is just an example. Okay. Made up names. Okay. Boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. Okay. Then they all get married. So William marries Mary. You know, this daughter marries this guy. This son marries this woman. So, let's see. Yeah, I did put in 8 children. So it says their 8 children. So made up their 8 kids. They marry somebody. And then they have these kids. So this would be 4th generation great grandchildren. But the main part is when they're talking about different branches of the tree, like this is, you know, one child from them. And so it could go on and on and on over here. One of the matches to the sheath DNA apparently was over here and over here, just hypothetically. It was definitely down this is an exact example of how far down the tree the matches they found. They found matches up here, matches down here were what was in the database. So they found this match in the database, this match in the database, and they're like, ooh, we got 2 matches. They're third cousins. Let's go up the tree. So they have to build the tree to find where do these 2 people meet. Oh, they meet right here. What do they share? They share the same second great grandparents. And so then you have to start building back down the tree to find information, right? To find information. But just this alone, this does not match Brian Koberger. This does not match Brian Koberger. And it just shows you all the different branches that you could have, right? Is something going on with my stream? Let me see. It's still going. All right. Thanks, Jen. Thanks. Okay. Everybody's just listening. Good. All right. That's that example. So we left off right here yesterday. Okay. So I just showed you. Whoops, now you can't see what I'm doing. Wait a minute. Oh, it's because I put it down. Let me pull it up. There we go. So this is what I just showed you. RK and HS, the third cousins. And so let's see. RK and HS are third cousins to one another, and they share a set of second grandparents. So that's what we just looked at. There's their names. The most likely possibilities were that the unknown subject, right, the sheath DNA, was descended from one of the 8 children of the Tyler Burke marriage. Okay, so look at this. That sheath could have come from any one of these kids. Or it could have come from Ellen's siblings. Or it could have come from Clark's siblings. That DNA could be so far removed from where they ended up. I don't know. Because this is just a guess that they Like you could probably get to third cousins by going over here somehow and coming down the line and sharing the same amount of centimorgans. So it doesn't even have to be their kids. It could be the siblings up here. See what I'm saying? And that is time intensive. That takes months. It could take years of investigating. I just really want to paint that picture. I mean, this is not a process that happens in 6 days or 1 day. So, Othram recommended testing a descendant of another Tyler Burke child. That step could have taken weeks or months and would not have led directly to Brian Kohberger because he is descended from a different sibling altogether. This sounds like if Leaha Larkin knows that Brian Kohberger is descended from a different sibling altogether, did she do her own? I bet the defense did their own. Thanks, G Bean. So, yeah, this is Leaha Larkin's expert report. I know this is like kind of boring content, but this is so bombshell, and we have to know and understand this information if we're going to speak about this case. Okay. I'm trying to make it like not as boring as possible, but so the state followed, this is just an example. This is not a real name. For example, the state followed this sibling all the way down their tree and found this third cousin. Okay. The state followed this child from the great grandparents all the way down their tree. Thanks, Deborah Acklin. I'm sure everybody's listening and cleaning or driving or shopping or working. All the way down the tree and came to this person. Leaha Larkin is saying BK is not on this line and not on this line. Not that one. Not that one. So he must be, on, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? There's 6 more to choose from. There's 6 more to choose from. Do you know how much time? Because this part of the work, this work is not, it's not DNA. This part is reading and research and searching for connections, like finding these people in a newspaper, in an obituary, in a marriage certificate, in a death certificate, in a newspaper article. Where did they live in the country? Things like that. This is investigation, and it would take so much time to go through how many generations of people to make sure that you're landing on the right to your match, okay? So Leaha Larkin flat out says he is descended from a different sibling altogether. I've heard everybody talking about this, but I never understood like what that looked like, okay? All right, so now we have David Middleman and we have Matthew Gamet. And Middleman is from Othram. Gamut is Idaho State Police Forensics. And we have the FBI Investigative Genetic Genealogy West Region Team. Okay, call them out. That's who did it. And they're in Los Angeles. So it was, I never knew this before. The Los Angeles team from the FBI is the one that began building family trees on December 13th, 2022, and had named Brian Kohberger as a suspect by December 19th, 2022. How on earth did they go through 8 different siblings, their kids, their kids' kids, their kids' kids' kids, their kids? Like, do you know the amount of research time that would take? It would probably be smart to go back and listen to Gabriela Vargas describe that work when she was on the stand. It's time intensive. Time intensive. Unless you get extremely lucky. I said they set a world record. They set a world record, you guys. Thank you, G-Bean. I appreciate that. So they set a world record in investigative genetic genealogy, doing it in 6 days. My question also is, why does Othram claim that they were the ones who solved the crime? Like, I'm pretty sure they have said that on interviews. Why are they the ones that say they solved the crime when the Los Angeles FBI team is the one? So that's interesting. And I'm going to show you a video of why. I'm going to show you a video that might help make this make sense. Okay, so Leaha Larkin says, in my opinion, the FBI identified Mr. Kohberger in just 6 days because they violated the Department of Justice policy on FGG, forensic genetic genealogy, as well as the terms of service for multiple databases. And they uploaded a modified DNA profile under a fictitious name to databases or database portals they were forbidden to use. So I understand her saying this. We've heard this a lot. Everybody says, you know, they uploaded the DNA into databases they weren't supposed to. Okay, but that doesn't mean it's not Brian Kohberger. Like, they could have cheated and still done the correct genealogy to say that it's Brian Kohberger's DNA on the sheath. Thanks, Bunny Murphy. We're going to look at this, what they're talking about here a little bit further. And I said, like, what is she really saying? Okay, so she's going to give an example on the next page. So here's what happened. There's going to end up being 2 SMP profiles. There's an FBI one, and there's an Othram one. Okay, so there's Othram profile and there's FBI profile. They are not the same. Bum, bum, bum. They are not the same. And the defense does not have access. Of course they don't. The defense does not have access to the protocols, and the procedures. So the defense has no idea what they did. The defense is not allowed to see how they got an Othram. How did they get the Othram profile, and how did they get the FBI profile? They just said, here's the profiles, but we're not going to show you how we got them. So I'm wondering, is that a Brady? If that's work product, don't they have to? Is work product hidden? I guess is my question. Okay. And then they just get into the numbers. Okay. Othram uploaded their file to Family Tree DNA and GEDmatch, and they're allowed to do that. Those are like public databases. And they did that before December 8th. So Othram does theirs before December 8th. And it says, because the file was already in the databases allowed by the Department of Justice, there was no need for a second DNA data file. I'm not sure I understand that. This was how I wrote it. It looks like Othram put their profile into Family Tree and GEDmatch. So they're in there, and they're in there first. I don't understand what this means. There's no need for a second DNA data file. Like the FBI is saying, well, we just use that. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Someone else would have to explain that part. Sorry, guys. Although there was no need for a second DNA data file, the FBI appears to have modified. Oh, so I see. I think this is my understanding. She is contradicting why the FBI made a second profile. There shouldn't have been a second profile. We don't need an FBI profile and an Othram profile. I finally got it. So she's saying the prosecution made two profiles, FBI and Othram. And they didn't need to do that. Why do you need two profiles? You already have one. It's already uploaded into the two legal search sites. Why'd you make another one? Why did you make another one? So I'll just put that here. Why did they make two? So if I come back to this, I will remember. No need for two profiles, guys. Ridiculous. Although there was no need for a second DNA data file, the FBI appears to have modified Othram's file using bioinformatics. There's a new word for you. We should start a vocabulary list of all the words we have learned. Bioinformatics. And it more than doubled its size. Presumably, so this manipulated file could be uploaded to the same or other databases. They used other databases. They didn't just upload it into the same one, I don't think. They used other ones. No information was provided to the defense, go figure, explaining how more than 900,000 SMPs of data were created. Oh my God. So I'm wondering if they have to disclose that or not. Like if they're saying, well, that's our work product, so we don't have to show you. I don't know about that. Need a lawyer to chime in on that. An email dated December 14th between a redacted sender, interesting, redacted, and recipient shows a match of 91 centimorgans between a GEDmatch user with the alias SC and the crime scene profile. So they matched SC to the crime scene profile. I should do this one. I should make an image of this one too. Like, where on the tree would you be with a 91 centimorgan match? Othram would have reported the match to SC if they'd seen it. They would. Instead, the highest match they reported was 70. Oh. Okay. So the FBI goes in and they're like, we found a 91 centimorgan match. But Othram never found a 91 centimorgan match. Do you think Othram would just ignore it? They're not going to ignore that. Othram would not ignore that. So how does the FBI see something that Othram doesn't see? See, I put, why didn't Othram see it? Oh, probably because it wasn't there, right? Jen, thank you. You're beyond generous, Jen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's do the peeps.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday.
I love those. Thank you. Jen likes which one? This one?
Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Everybody drunk out on the dance floor. Baby girl ass jiggle like she want more.
Oh, there you go, Jen. There you go, shoddy. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. So basically, we're catching the cheating here. So Leaha Larkin, I'm just calling it that. I know it's a low-level word, but questionable moves by the FBI. Okay, that's what we are getting at here. Oh, wait, I need this. There we go. Okay. I was trying to look at my... Othram has to follow Department of Justice guidelines or they don't get paid. The FBI just does whatever they want. Oh, yes, they do, Bunny Murphy. You know, I thought in our country we say nobody's above the law. Well, apparently the FBI is above the law. They can not be transparent with interviews for FOIA requests. They can hold back investigative things and not follow the Freedom of Information Act. I'm going to show 2 cases in a few minutes where they got stone cold busted, you guys, stone cold busted, and nothing happens. Well, I take that back. The FBI doesn't get in trouble. The people that they use get in trouble, right? Sound familiar? Yeah. Okay, so this gets a little complicated, but we're going to draw it out. Okay, so they did get discovery. So the defense got discovery on March 4th, 2024. SC was opted out of forensic matching. So not only does the FBI go in to an illegal site and find a match that Othram was never able to see, the FBI went in and found a match that should not have been available to them because the person was opted out. Hi, Kaleidohope. I'm going over Leaha Larkin's findings with the genetic genealogy. So if you opt out, that means you don't want your information to be used for law enforcement or shared with anybody else. So SC should not have been visible. It should have, this says it should have been invisible to the profile that Othram uploaded. And again, this suggests that the FBI uploaded their manipulated profile through the layperson portal at GEDmatch. I think I understand this, so I'm going to draw it out for you in a minute. Through the lay person portal at GEDmatch, so they could see people who had not consented to forensic matching. This would have violated both the Department of Justice policy and the terms of service at GEDmatch. Okay, so then she explains how this works. So whoops. Okay, it's like a window. Okay, so the lay person GEDmatch system works like a window. So if I swab my cheeks and I fill out the kit and I upload it to GEDmatch, it's like a window. And if I match you, I can see you and you can see me. So two people who match can view one another from either perspective. Person A can see person B, and person B can see person A. Okay. So if any of you have ever uploaded to a genealogy site, you probably understand that process. So here's the results, right? And person A and person B. So these are the results of, these two people match. And person A is over here. That's person A. This is person B. And they're on their computers. And person B can see his results. Person A can see her results. And if person A matched with person B, she can see their results. And this person can see their results, right? Because they matched. So that's how it's supposed to work in a legal way for the public. Hi, Brian Todd. Good to see you today. 23 in FBI, not 23 in me. So guess what the FBI did? The FBI did not do this. The FBI did not do that. And I should clarify, I am not a genetic genealogy specialist. I am not an expert on any of the charts that I am making. There could be mistakes in the way I am interpreting this and displaying it to you. I'm just doing my best to make a visual to represent what I am seeing. So there could be some mistakes. So, all right. Okay, that's the layperson, just average Joe community person. That's what they get. Now there is a pro, GEDmatch Pro. And that works like a one-way mirror. So forensic kits can see lay people who have opted in to forensic matching, but the lay people cannot see the forensic kit. The screenshot in the December 14th, 2022 email, however, is taken from the perspective of SC. So it looks like SC is in there looking at his own profile, and it shows his profile kit. And she says that should not be possible. That this forensic kit was visible in SC's matches suggests it was uploaded through the regular layperson GEDmatch portal so the FBI could see kits that had not consented to forensic matching. did they upload the sheath DNA or did they upload SC's DNA? Let me see if I can figure this out. It's taken from the perspective of SC. Yes, that's what they did. I think I got it. This is what I think happened. So first of all, okay, Othram makes a profile. And they only get so far. They got to like a third cousins. And they're on the wrong branch. Then you have the FBI making a profile, which Leaha Larkin says, you don't need to do that. You don't need to make your own profile. Okay. Then what I think the FBI does is they search databases. They're not supposed to. And they're looking for matches to the sheath DNA. And they find SC. Okay. And they find it illegally. Then they take SC and they upload it themselves. This is what I think. I'm speculating, you guys. I'm speculating. I think they take SC's profile and they upload it themselves and they pretend they are that person. And this happened in 1994. I'm going to show you the video. Hey, William Tardy. Hello, Lori. I hope you're having a good day. You're busy at work. Yeah, that's shady. So they pretend like it's them. Okay. So now they have this window. So they have this window because they're using GEDmatch Pro. And if you use GEDmatch Pro, this is saying uploaded through the layperson GEDmatch portal so the FBI could see kits that had not consented. Okay. GEDmatch shows Othram uploaded their DNA. Okay. So now when they go in, they're going into GEDmatch Pro. And now they're looking, and now this is now in the site along with all of this is in the site. And now the FBI can go in and they can see things that they should not be legally allowed to see. And the kicker is all the people who submitted their DNA can't tell that the FBI is in there seeing their profiles. I believe that's how I'm interpreting it. So right here. SC's matches suggest it was uploaded through the regular layperson GEDmatch portal so the FBI could see kits that had not consented to forensic matching. Right. So now the FBI, they can see SC and all of their descendants and relatives. So a whole new tree. Way more. So now the FBI can see way more than what Othram did. So this is what Othram did, and they got down to 2 third cousins. 2 third cousins. And Leaha Larkin said they were on the wrong branches of the siblings. So the FBI comes in and says, all right, we're gonna look at this, but we're gonna look at it in other databases. And when they do, that's when they find this SC. So now they have another piece of information to try to enter into all of this. All right, this is where we're going to watch the video. I'm going to show you an example of this really happening in the United States. And it's not this one. Okay, this was an old video that I made. I don't know, probably back in the fall. I think I made it back in the fall. So if you hear me stopping and talking to the chat, some of you might hear your own name. That'd be funny. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right, it's showing up. I was new to this game. All right, here's a little bit of history about IgG.
Genetic fingerprinting has become routine.
In the late 1980s, before the advent of genealogical databases in crime fighting, DNA samples from crime scenes had to be large in quantity to be tested, meaning big pools of blood or large quantities of semen or saliva. Back then, samples were manually analyzed and required a lot of analysis, the way someone might look at an out-of-focus photograph and try to interpret what they see.
Okay, so first of all, sound check. Can you hear that okay? Can you hear the video okay? And then that last frame that was up there with that, it almost looked like a lottery ticket when you fill in the lottery ticket with the little black things. Okay, thank you, Christy. I watched a video a long time ago that was this old school way. There's a tutorial out there of how they used to just look for these certain markers and be able to say, okay, this matches the mom, this matches the dad, and who matches who. It's just looking at shapes and sequences and matching them. And that's all that was. And it was called fingerprinting at the start. Fingerprinting.
This new scientific tool was enough to upend the criminal justice system, allowing investigators to catch perpetrators and exonerate the innocent. In 1994, the federal government created a database called the Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS. Before the system could launch, the FBI had to come up with standards for what level of detail to store in the database. Erin Murphy is a former public defender and the author of Inside the Cell, The Dark Side of Forensic DNA.
There's this need to develop a DNA profile that is discriminating enough among people to identify them, but not so discriminating that it invades their privacy or costs too much to do.
Law enforcement decided.
So in 1994, they start creating this database. So that's That's CODIS, right? So they're going to come up with CODIS. And then they're going to talk about how the government, okay, I cut out the parts where it was the actual president that did it, but it's in the 90s, so you can figure it out. There was a government, movement to start genome sequencing and just start, collecting this, laying the foundation for the technology, for the scientific part of it. Can we start collecting these DNA samples?
A portion of the genome, just 13 places at the time.
They each have 2 pieces of information, one from mom, one from dad. So that means you'll have essentially 26 discrete pieces of information. Part of the benefit of that method is that it doesn't really tell you very much about someone's health or their physical characteristics or anything like that. Regions that are non-coding don't signify anything. That's where you get this idea of junk. It's just junk DNA. That stays and is still the mainstay of DNA testing.
I've heard that term junk science, and okay, Christy, I know you got a lot of videos you're working on. I get it. Everybody says, oh, junk science. And I always thought it was just this dismissive term for like not reliable, but she's explaining the junk science part of it is only using those 13 markers for identification purposes only and not getting into the medical part of it. And I think that's important to keep in mind when we're, deciding, is this something I endorse or don't endorse for criminal work, for investigative work? If it's only these 13 markers and it's non-medical, and you're just trying to match, does that make a difference or not? And then they're talking about 13 markers to make that match. And I remember when we were waiting for a match for my son, they always told me that there was 14. They were looking at 14 to see if they were compatible. What am I doing? There we go. Play.
As the turn of the century came, police thought DNA matches would be the future of solving the most heinous crimes. And murders contained to their own communities from the 1970s on, though there was some speculation that they could be connected.
In 2000, my daughter was pretty young, new. She was about a year old. We were going back down to Ventura to visit old friends and show off the kid and that sort of thing. And I thought, I'm going to stop by the police department and just see if there's been any progress. It's been 20 years. Has there been?
Okay. So this woman, her dad was a victim of the Golden State Killer. Okay. And so she lived, out of county and went back to Ventura. Ventura, California was a big area where there were a lot of victims. And she went in to check in to just see, hey, any updates in the case. And this woman is like a grown adult with a grown daughter at the time, probably a teenager, her daughter was. So, decades have passed since her father's death. And when she goes to check in, the police are like, well, we don't know who, but we are thinking your dad was the victim of a serial killer. And what they did was they were able to match the DNA left at the scene. So this is how DNA kind of progressed with other DNA samples that were left in other. Thank you, Levs. Thank you for the flower. Thank you. Thank you. And you guys, so this is a video that I made. So it's merging an example case of what they do with this DNA. And historically. So it gives the history of like how the CODIS database got started, how it's going to get into how the genealogy sites got started. And for those of you that are wondering about like the politics behind it or the government need behind it or purpose behind it, things the FBI does, it's good to have an example case to show like what that looks like when they do it. So that's what's going on in this video. Let's do, what do we got here?
Clock it.
So I gotta say thank you, clock it.
Clock it in the chat. Clock it. Other places in other cities. So they're like, oh my gosh, this is the same guy. This is the same person committing these crimes. So I did not realize the Golden State Killer had so many nicknames. Like I knew of like 4 of them, but there's even more than that. And I got to make sure I didn't miss any on here. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's the first one. Yeah. Okay. So the first one is the Visalia ransacker. So Visalia is another city where there are victims. So D'Angelo, he was the person who ends up getting found and to be the Golden State Killer. And so his earliest crimes were from 74 to 75, and there were 100 burglaries and 1 murder. Okay. So, and this is a good example of, you know, everybody says, oh, Brian Koberger was going to be a serial killer. Well, if you study serial killers, usually, now there's always outliers. I know there's always outliers, but they usually start off at a lower level with things and then build, right? They progress in their crimes. So here's the perfect example. He was, you know, breaking into homes and then eventually got to. Okay, I'm going to skip past the Long Island or I always want to say Long Island serial killer. It's not. I'm going to skip through the Golden State Killer background information and just get to the shadiness of the genetic genealogy stuff. But thank you, Labs. We've got 5 more peeps joining our membership, and that is Jeff Walker, Marley B24, Crud Dog. I miss Crud Dog. Where are you at, Crud Dog? 313 Kristen and Twiz. Oh, you guys, Twiz and I go back a ways, and he is a dear friend on here. And I know we debated a little bit on Dago's show, if you guys caught that, but it's just banter. It's just banter. He knows I do that with Carlos all the time. It's like arguing with a brother, right? You killed some Long Island iced teas in your youth. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's get past this part. I just want to show you the DNA stuff, because I could not believe this happened so long ago. Sheesh, I did a lot on here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I went way past it. Okay, prowling and burglary. Okay, we'll go right here.
Other murders in Southern California, we believe he's the victim of a serial killer. Yeah, I did need to sit down.
Investigators couldn't find a match in the FBI's CODIS database, but they did find matches between a series of rapes and killings across Southern California.
Okay, so again, using the Golden State Killer as an example of this work. And so they had DNA from multiple victims in all the different areas of California. They could not find a match in CODIS. They only had CODIS at the time, I believe. But they knew it was the same person, perpetrator, because the DNA matched from victim to victim, from county to county in all these different places.
Little did they know that it would be a completely different DNA database developed outside of law enforcement that would lead to the front steps of the killer. The eventual search would be so potentially shocking to the public that investigators would lie about what they did.
They would lie? This lie is a big one, and it is going to be so relevant to the Brian Kohberger case. So when you hear what they did, you're going to go, oh, yeah, that's exactly what people were saying with the Kohberger case, or speculating. People were speculating that.
For years.
Human Genome Project has no lesser goal than to map every bit of information contained in the human genetic blueprint.
In 1990, the Human Genome Project promised to map the entire genetic makeup of the human body for $3 billion within 15 years. While the task had to be completed manually in the beginning, the project got ahead of its time horizon after the arrival of automated DNA sequencers. By 2001, there was a working draft of almost the entire genome. The genetic basis for most diseases turned out to be far more complicated than scientists had assumed, but the technology did create a brand new market for consumer genetic testing.
Oh, that was a little choppy in there. I did that on purpose. I had to. But they're explaining how that's the government movement to make this genome database. So the government starts that. Then people start realizing, oh my gosh, we're getting a lot of health information from this. The scientists, people could really use this for, finding out their health, like predictive markers and things like that. And so now this is what, early 2001 to early 2000s, the big boom is going to happen with these ancestry databases.
Ancestry.com announced that it was teaming up with a genetics lab to offer you a handy-dandy home DNA test kit.
There was an opportunity to gather information about people, which they could monetize. I analogize it to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter.
Becca Barlow studied genetics and developmental biology before becoming an attorney specializing in DNA cases.
You are being provided the service, and in exchange, you give them all of your genetic data.
Advances in technology now make DNA testing affordable for anyone.
Some call it genealogy to the extreme. It's DNA testing.
New startups promise to let customers understand their familial roots in ways they never had before.
I used a sperm donor to have my daughter. So DNA is a big part of our life. Don't know much about.
So this woman that's speaking is just giving the example of how she had a donor to conceive her child. And so getting that genetic information was important to her. So she's one that did choose to go into these databases to submit, to get that information. So there's lots of different reasons that people do it. We're doing it, are doing it, but there was like a heyday for this. Like, remember there were like commercials everywhere. And I think the next clip that's coming up is going to show that one of the sites even had like a spit party. Can you believe that? Like, you'll see what I'm talking about.
About him other than what he shared as part of the sperm bank information. And I thought it would be really helpful to understand what markers might come up if we use 23andMe. I think there's real value in people being able to learn about themselves and being able to manage their health and manage procreation by having DNA information that can help them make informed choices.
A lot of people have found that they're carriers for things like cystic fibrosis, and they had no idea.
Okay, so you call this?
Well, this is a spit party.
A spit party.
A spit party.
In the Spit Lounge, guests provided a sample of their DNA for decoding. The spit collectors work for a website called 23andMe.
It's actually looking for things that we as consumers really.
I added that clip of that kid in there just spitting. Hi, Skull. Good morning. Good morning. Get that coffee in you. Get caffeinated. We'll be here. Okay, so of course they're like, this is for health reasons, right? Which, I mean, it's valid. It's valid.
Have no grasp of what they are at this moment, and that can change. They can start testing for things that we can't even conceive of today.
The FBI's DNA database tested for a teeny tiny portion of the genome. These companies were testing for much more.
Companies like Ancestry, et cetera, use a method that's known as SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphism. And when they're looking at these SNPs, they're not looking at 13 places, 20 places. They're not looking at 1,000 of these SNPs. They're looking at hundreds of thousands, millions. Millions.
Okay, so we've all heard of the SNPs, right? And she was just saying that when they use those SNPs, they're not looking at those 13 markers. They're looking at hundreds of thousands of markers. So big difference with that. So this is hitting mainstream. These DNA websites and swabbing your cheeks and sending it in and finding out your heritage and medical information. And they like called it like this renaissance, right? Like it's a new era. And so they start having conferences for it and tutorials on how to get this done. And after this heyday, as everybody starts, getting on the bandwagon, 10 million people uploaded their DNA samples into, I'm forgetting which one it was. It might be 23andMe. And then they're going to name another site and say that 15 million people were in that site. So that's a lot. Anybody know how many millions of people live in the country?
Tree DNA also collected profiles. Many users downloaded their raw genetic data and uploaded it to an open source website called GenMatch.
Okay, so party, the only way to get on there, right? For a while, ancestry sites were like, okay, I know people have privacy concerns. So if you don't want us to share your information, you have to go in and I'm fast forwarding this a little bit. Yes. Yeah, I haven't even, they were led, okay. Finally, right away, solve a current Queen G. Okay. They've had, so their CEO kind of deal with author. I better know just enter genetic detective work. All right, here we go. So that was a little bit of history of where the databases came from. Okay. And now, so they built up that database. The scientists did lots of work on developing the human genome and being able to identify everything they need to identify. So they do all that work over decades and decades and decades. And now here comes the genetic genealogy, the genetic investigative part of it. Okay. This woman, we're going to hear about her. Remember this name, Barbara Ray Venter. Barbara Ray Venter. She is the genetic detective that works on the Golden State Killer case, Barbara Ray Venter. And she's going to use MyHeritage, and we're going to find out how she uses MyHeritage. But she's the one that they contact. They're using her to work on the Golden State Killer case.
Law enforcement says they were able to link this DNA using an open source
genealogy website called GEDmatch.
It turns out that story wasn't true. Federal and local law enforcement conducted a much more invasive and widespread search than what.
So there's the lie. So even with the Golden State Killer case, you guys, like this first case where they're cold case, you know, and I think a lot of people tend to support solving cold cases with IGG than they do with current cases. I don't know. That's just my perspective that I think I've seen out there. So this is their first lie. So the FBI says we used GEDmatch. We used GEDmatch to make the match. But then the media finds out that no, that's not what they did.
Originally thought, tiptoeing around privacy policies and misleading the public with a story about GEDmatch. Their path to finding the killer shows why guidelines for law enforcement to respect the civil liberties of citizens is important. Without them, they could make up the rules as they go, which is exactly what happened.
We've had the Golden State Killer's DNA up in CODIS since 2001, no hits. We've done familial searches here in California every single year in which it's been legal, no hit. We've done international searches. We did everything without success.
Genetic genealogy isn't just revealing the information of the person who shared their genome. It's revealing the information of everyone else related to them, close or distantly.
I know talking all this IGG stuff is complicated. I'm trying to like break it down. We'll go over the main points of it afterwards. But so we just saw Paul Holes, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he was a major detective working on the Golden State Killer case. And I personally really like him. He was on a podcast called Unraveled for a while. He was on that podcast with Billy Jensen and Alexis Linkletter. I'm going to skip this part a little bit, but that podcast is amazing. If you want all the history behind the law, what did I say? The Golden State Killer. No, they covered the Long Island serial killer case. That's a good one. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. Okay. All right, here we go.
2018 report in the journal Science. In the near future, anyone of European descent, according to a 2018 report in the journal Science, in the near future, anyone of European descent could be identified through genealogical databases because of the ability to infer familial relationships.
Jen is building up our community. Jen, 5 more memberships. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, wait a minute. Get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper.
And have you guys seen this one? It's not a thank you. It's just how much this case drives us crazy.
And let me see, what else could we pile on? Is there any more shit we could pile on to the top of the outcome of this case? Is it possible?
We read Cy Ray's report and we started the pile, and plus all the other stuff we found in reports and everything, and now we're doing the DNA. Thank you, Jen. Oh, let's see who got those. Let me see right here. Black Templar, Viberg Amy, Dub Dizzle, Melon 5565. I don't know this name. Andorath Craftia. Interesting. Welcome to the peeps, you guys. Welcome to the peeps. Thanks, Jen.
Ships.
A lot of people don't consent. They're now basically discoverable. And that's just not how we've operated in this country. That's why we have the Fourth Amendment. It's because we value privacy.
23andMe and Ancestry.com promised to protect their customers' privacy, stating that they would only provide information to the government under court order. And they published transparency reports about the police requests they received. There was 2018. Barbara Ray Venter, the genealogist assisting the FBI, uploaded the killer's genetic data to an online DNA database.
Okay, I'm going to rewind that for a minute because we're going to learn exactly what that Barbara Ray Venter did with the DNA. Before that, they were talking about, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. Hey, Moto Man. How are you today? We are doing everything genetic genealogy today after we went through Leaha Larkin's report. And I am showing an example from back in, I think it's 1994, where the FBI got called out by media, right? True investigative journalism using a genetic investigative genealogist to upload and use databases that they were not supposed to. And this lady got in trouble for it. So it's okay. We'll go on and talk about this is what she did. She took the Golden State Killer's DNA sample that they had, and here's what she did with it.
The FBI uploaded the killer's genetic data to an online DNA database, and that search gave her the names of a series of second cousins, filling out the family tree she was constructing, and ultimately leading police to the killer. Venter was able to narrow down the suspect to 6 people. One had blue eyes, matching the description many gave of the Golden State Killer. According to the Los Angeles Times, it was MyHeritage, a privately owned DNA database Ray Venter used, that provided the hit that would find the killer. Unlike Ancestry or 23andMe, MyHeritage allowed customers to upload genetic data generated by third parties for analysis on its site, so Venter was able to upload D'Angelo's data, which had been genotyped by police, and pretend it was her own.
GEDmatch, a genealogy site being credited.
Did you guys hear that? She uploaded. Hi, AR. Hello. She uploaded. She's an investigative genetic genealogist. She took the Golden State Killers, unknown, they have the profile. She took the profile and uploaded it into GEDmatch. I'll have to rewind it. She uploaded it into the site they just said, but pretended like it was her own. And I remember people speculating that. People were speculating that about the Brian Kohberger case. Like, is that one way that this might have happened? Do you remember that? Yep. All right. Okay, I'm going to rewind that a little bit and see what I thought they said GEDmatch, but then I'm not sure. Let me see.
Analysis on its site, so Venter was able to upload D'Angelo's data, which had been genotyped by police, and MyHeritage that provided the hit that would find the killer. Unlike Ancestry or 23andMe, MyHeritage allowed customers to upload genetic data generated by third parties for analysis on its site, so Venter was able to upload D'Angelo's data, which had been genotyped by police, and pretend it was her own.
GEDmatch,
MyHeritage.
a genealogy site being credited as the missing key.
That's the point right there. So Leaha Larkin, in her report, did a very detailed explanation of, she was talking about the windows and the way you upload. And if you do it normally, I upload and I match with somebody, I can see my information and I can see their information. But if you do it this other way, with this example, they took the suspect's DNA that they had collected from evidence. Thank you, Lavs. And they uploaded it into a site and pretended it like it was their own. And then they can see. And they also, the wording, you got to listen to the wording. They said it was an FBI manipulated sample. Let me see if we can hear that language. Venter was able to upload, we're talking about D'Angelo, the Golden State Killer. They took his DNA that they found at the crime scene, just like they could take the sheath DNA, okay, make a comparison. So this lady right here on the screen is a genetic investigative genealogist from back in the 90s. She took the suspect's DNA found at the crime scene and she uploaded it. It had been genotyped by the police, right? And she pretended it was hers. The transcripts aren't picking up the words for me. Here we go, right here.
D'Angelo's data, which had been genotyped by police, and MyHeritage that provided the hit that would find the killer. Unlike Ancestry or 23andMe, MyHeritage allowed customers to upload genetic data generated by third parties for analysis on its site, so Venter was able to upload D'Angelo's data, which had been genotyped by police, and pretend it was her own.
GEDmatch,
MyHeritage.
a genealogy site being credited as the missing key.
So it was the MyHeritage site. And 5 more peeps. Let me see who got those. Thank you, Lavs. Thank you so much, Lavs. 525 Blue Haze. Welcome, Aligned. G. Guerian, Lisa Marie, Cats TR, Beverly Y, we'll just say Beverly C. Diane. Welcome to the peeps. Labs is on fire today. Who gave the example? William Tardy gave an example that he uploaded his DNA sample to a genealogy site and did it 2 different times and got 2 different results. I'm not an expert on this. I've heard other people talking about this. To me, that looks like it's not a set algorithm that comes up with your results. To me, that looks, or if it is, it's a dependent one. It looks like it's dependent on comparisons. So to me, that's not exact, right? It's not exact. If they're saying you're, if they say I'm like 50% French heritage 1 month, and then the next month I go in and they say I have 0 French heritage, like how reliable is that? How reliable is that? These are such good points you guys are making. Oh, yay, Lisa Marie. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the community. We are so glad you are here. Hey, Dago. We are calling out this genetic genealogy work. I'll tell you that. Okay, so you get the point, right? And Barbara Ventnor was the first one that did this back in the 90s.
But investigators had claimed that Ray Venter had tracked down D'Angelo using GEDmatch, an open source genealogy database. So why did they lie?
So see, what she really did is not what they claimed. They claimed probably on their court documents that we used GEDmatch and we did it the legal way, but they really didn't. They really didn't. And it looks to me, by reading Leaha Larkin's report, that some of that work was probably also done. So she uploaded. Oh, let me get past that. And what are you guys talking about? What?
In this same state, or they have a prior
All right.
suspect, and often, although it might support the finding of guilt, like they live in accumulated later, and although it will be no other evidence, sort of have this huge pool of people to suspect, and often there will be no other evidence, or often the other evidence will be kind of accumulated later, and although it might support the finding of guilt, like they live in the same state, or they have a prior record of some kind. Really what you're doing is you're saying this partial profile matches, and that's what I'm kind of building the scaffold of the case on, and these other coincidental factors just help support my finding. And so databases make that ambiguous quality of some of these samples much more potentially pernicious, because they allow police to take those incomplete samples and sort of find perpetrators who seem to match but may in fact not be the actual perpetrator of the crime.
There you go. There you go. That says it all. So potentially the investigation work could be done in this manner, as we have a historical example right here from decades ago where the same type of work seems to have been done, right? Taking a partial profile, having 2 different profiles, Leaha Larkin said, putting them into databases you're not supposed to. I mean, they in 2022, 2023, when they were doing this, it looks like the same type of moves that they were making. So let's fast forward to just a year or so ago. And there, you guys, I know, I think Dago showed this probably on his show, just a little clip here about, hold on, add this to the stage. So you guys have probably heard about Yvette Missy Woods, who went to court. Originally, I think she pled not guilty, but she ended up pleading guilty. And I'm just going to show you a couple clips about that. Here we go.
A former state scientist has been charged with 102 felonies for mishandling DNA test results, casting doubt on dozens of criminal cases handled by CBI. Well, tonight, Denver 7's Claire Lavazorio sorted through the arrest report to find out exactly what Missy Woods is accused of doing. and what she said to investigators when they confronted her.
This arrest affidavit lists 58 separate criminal cases between 2008 and 2023 all across the state, including homicide.
58 cases of people that were sent to prison because of a genetic genealogist that, like, well, they'll tell us what she's charged with.
Sexual assaults and robberies. It could now cost Colorado more than $11 million to sort through. What was your reaction to seeing these new charges today?
Finally, we're going to see some accountability. Finally, Missy Woods will be held to account.
An attorney who says his client was wrongfully convicted of murder because of a former scientist's misconduct hopes this is the start of accountability.
I'm glad that it looks like the tide is turning.
Yvonne Missy Woods, previously employed by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, is now facing 102 felony charges.
Colorado Bureau of Investigations. And I believe we went over earlier that it was the Los Angeles Bureau of Investigations that handled the Brian Kohberger DNA.
She's accused of committing a cybercrime, perjury, attempting to influence a public...
Cybercrime, perjury, attempting to influence... Hold on. She has 102 felony charges. 102 felony charges. You know, whose lawyer was that brought this to light? We need to... Can we find that lawyer? Can we find that lawyer? Who's watching the watchers? Yes, William. Yes, William. But I need to find out who this lawyer is. He called it out, man. So she's got 102 felony charges.
A cybercrime, perjury, attempting to influence a public servant.
Cybercrime, perjury, attempting to influence a public servant.
And forgery. What message?
Oh, forgery, you say? Forgery? Forgery.
Did you think these new 100 plus felony charges sent?
There needs to be justice for this, and everyone who covered this up needs to be served a piece of that.
Adam Frank claims...
Oh my gosh. Can we find this guy? Find this guy.
His client, Michael Clark, was wrongfully convicted of murder in a Boulder cold case because of Woods' false reporting. The Boulder County DA's office says it found no testing issues or misconduct in the Michael Clark case. Although Frank argues Woods' behavior still affected his client's case.
Issue in Mike's case was about Missy Woods' interpretation of the DNA results, not the testing.
The criminal affidavit for Woods reveals what she's accused of doing.
And that is what I believe Audrey at Glitch DNA talks about all the time. Like, you can't slam that point home harder than it's the decisions. It's the decisions that these experts make. So this lawyer said it wasn't the DNA like testing process results. It's the way she interpreted it.
Doing wrong with the reporting of DNA samples in dozens of cases. Investigators believe she manipulated data to make it appear that either none or too little DNA was present. When confronted by investigators about the flawed data, Wood said, "I can't argue with the data," adding, "I've been trying to remember any specific thing or when I did it or why, and I don't." And when asked if her reasoning would have been to move a case forward, she replied, "Likely."
We need transparency and we need honesty.
Frank believes these countless charges coming to light show the severity of the decades-long scandal.
And if CBI won't be honest about what Missy Woods did and how they covered it up and how they are still covering it up, then there's no reason for anyone in Colorado to have faith in CBI.
I mean, that is so powerful right there. So powerful. Someone needs to, if it's there to be called out, it needs to be called out.
Denver, Claire Lavazorio, Denver 7.
You know, this is an attorney. This is a client's attorney speaking up for his client, calling it out. Bicca Barlow is an attorney for Brian Kohberger. She's a DNA expert in that as an attorney. That's her specialty, right? I don't know. They need to call it out. They used a word here. I want to look back and try to find. Hold on. Oh, I know what it was. Don't lose it. It was, think about this with the Brian Koberger case. This woman, Missy Woods, she had DNA samples and she would say, there's not enough DNA here. This isn't a good enough sample. Do you know how many of those exist in the Brian Koberger case? Practically all the blood samples that are on the sheath, they say, oh, it's like not robust enough to figure out. Did I say the wrong name? Bicca Barlow? Oh, you just corrected your spelling. Okay. But think about that. There are numerous samples that were collected for DNA testing. And it seems like all the important ones, besides the invisible part on the sheath that they decided to test for some, they just found DNA that was usable, that it was invisible to the naked eye. They were able to take that and do stuff with it. But the places where there was visible blood, it was just too degraded, you guys. It was just too degraded. It was just not a good enough sample to do anything with. And that's one of the things that Missy Woods did. And that's one of the things that we are seeing in the reports for Brian Koberger. So that's crazy. She just got found. She pled guilty. I mean, they must have had so much evidence against her. She pled guilty. I don't know if she took William Tardy, was that your comment? Did she take a plea deal? Did she plead down? Is that what your plead down comment was? She pled down. I wondered why, because she originally said not guilty. She must have settled for a plea deal. They probably dropped a lot of the charges. And she's going to be sentenced in September. She probably did. I mean, those are all her buddies in the court system, right? She's probably not going to get major consequences. Like, she could face, I heard, up to 16 years. Whatever the charges that stuck, it could be like 16 years. But you guys want to place bets in the chat? Think she'll do any jail time? Nope. How many other people and examples of this do you think are out there in our country? I mean, we are starting to question all these things about the FBI, about law enforcement. Now we have these genealogists and DNA people. She should. Yeah. Will they set an example? I don't know. Also, she's probably at home waiting for her sentence. I don't know. So, I think we got all of the major points out of Leaha Larkin's report today. A couple other important things that she mentioned was that she called out the FBI for directly violating the Department of Justice policy. So she has that on record. The other point, and this is interesting, that Leaha Larkin calls out that there were no matches to the forensic sample. No matches to the forensic sample were related through Brian Koberger's mother. We just looked at that tree that I showed you earlier. You have to have the parent, the mom and the dad. The mom and the dad and the siblings, the mom and the dad and the sibling, like who do they marry and who are their siblings? And then who do they marry and who are their siblings? On and on and on. How can you find somebody on a tree without backing up to who their parents are. She should be on that tree. She should be on that tree. But Leaha Larkin is saying she was not. So let's see. She also said the FGG search did not identify Mr. Koberger. Like, she flat out says it. Just like Cy Ray. They're not beating around the bush. They are making direct claims. The FGG search did not identify Mr. Koberger. Several other men in the extended Koberger family fit those DNA matches. That is so insane to me. That's so insane. Either did something happen where it was manipulated that it put it in this wrong family tree? Like, made some connection somehow that, I don't know. It's so weird. Or is it another coincidence? Is this just some crazy coincidence that somebody on Brian Koberger's tree committed this crime? Which one's more likely to believe? Is it a crazy coincidence, or did some manipulation make this happen? Let me know in the chat. So here's her points. The accused should have complete access to all records and data that should have been preserved from every phase of the FGG analysis. Mr. Koberger's defense needs to know how the DNA data files were generated. And then she also said they need to know if the Department of Justice policy was violated. Originally, I thought if they violated the procedure and still got the same results, that's a huge debate, about that. But the example we looked at, when they violate the Department of Justice policy, it allows them to do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do, and they've already manipulated the DNA to do it. So I don't know. Very complicated. The FBI would not have identified Mr. Koberger so quickly had they followed protocol. My only issue with this is she's not saying they would not get to Mr. Koberger. I don't know. She kind of contradicted herself in two places. My review of the discovery thus far indicates that Othram's genealogists could not identify Mr. Koberger. And she's saying the FBI would not, I don't know. She's still saying they could have got to him, but not as fast as they did. Earlier, I said they set records. My point is, even if they say they got to Brian Koberger on this genealogy tree, they have to show what they did with that DNA sample. Was that a true, unchanged, unmanipulated sample? That's the issue. Yeah, she just can't rule it out. Yep. Okay, you guys, we did a lot today, and thank you for hanging in there with me. Going through DNA and genealogy was not an easy topic to break down, but I think we made sense of it, and I appreciate you all for adding to the conversation and sharing things. That makes it, more of a two-way show over here. And I like talking with you guys. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to be back tomorrow with a Frenzy Friday. So I have just a lot of different Idaho 4 topics that I want to cover. And I mentioned to you guys a while ago about the guy that was caught on camera coming out of a dorm room. And I think I found him. I covered it a while ago. So I'm going to pull that footage back up and we're going to look at the dorm guy along with some other things. So get yourself ready for Saturday night with the verdict room, with getting to know Carlos. Go back and watch some of our old videos where we have discussions, so you'll know what to expect from him. I can't wait for that. It's going to be amazing. Thank you for all the donations, you guys. It's greatly appreciated. I do have a couple FOIA requests hanging out there, so that's going to help greatly. Hey, Mike. Yeah, I'm going to clock out for now. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Packaging unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. It's free, it keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew, now right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Yeah, that's you and me, that's you and me. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear.